Is it truly finally here? We'll find out. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James, I'm Micro Four Thirds guy with you once again, and I've had a sleepless night. It's early morning here. Well, early for me. I mean, it's 9 AM UK time. I didn't know there was more than one 9 o'clock in the day. I only thought there was one, but it appears that there's one in the morning as well, and I'm up for it. And it's breakfast time, so I've got, instead of my cup of coffee, I've got my trusty glass of orange. Very nice. But that brings us to the main reason for this video this morning. I've been kept awake all night because there's some exciting news came out, and I first saw this on 43rumors.com, but it's been backed up by various other places, and there is a video which has been released by Lumix, an official teaser video by Lumix in China, and the general announcement is that there's going to be a new camera announced at 3 PM London time on the 12th of September. That's next Tuesday, so not very long at all, just a couple of days away. A new camera, and it's going to be it's a G series camera. They've said that, and it's the new phase of camera. Now, if that's not a big enough clue to phase detect, I don't know what it is. Now, it could be down to two different cameras. They could be bringing out a GH7 and they replace a GH6, or to complement the GH6. So of course, phase detect really is going to work well for video, and I think that's where it's been lacking more than anything else. But the GH6 is still too new a camera, and it was hot on the heels of the GH5 Mark II not long before that. So to do a GH7 would be, I think, rather counterproductive. And everything's pointing towards it being a G9 Mark II, not a G10, because there's been speculation over the naming. It looks like it's going to be a G9 Mark II. Remember, we did have a G10 early on in the line. So a G9 Mark II with phase detect, that could be really, really interesting. Don't know what size, we don't know any specs about it. They've been very, very clever keeping this to a last minute before launch. I mean, there's been speculation about the G9 Mark II. I was one of the first video producers to actually do a speculation video on it a few months ago, and it was quickly followed by an awful lot of other people who were doing a very, very similar thought process to mine. But I think the G9 Mark II is probably the one that would be the one which is coming up. We don't know for sure. There's no specs being released for this camera coming up. We don't know where it is. It could even be a small pocket camera, but I don't think so. I can't see them doing something like that. So my money is on a G9 Mark II, and it's probably worth it. The G9 is what? It's about a 2000 and when did it come out? 2018. I think it was 2018 it came out, and so that's what, 5 years ago. So the G9 is getting long in the tooth. It's had a good number of firmware updates which have had a significant impact on the camera's performance. But I think the G9 Mark II will be a bit of a step up from that, a noticeable step up. So what do I think's going to be on it? Well, we're going to have to find out on Tuesday as to what's actually there, because as I say, there's been no spec released whatsoever. But I do believe that these birds would be quiet. It's wonderful having birds around, but they're not very good on the sound aspect of the video. Will you be quiet? Anyway, we have a 24 and a bit megapixel sensor on the GH6 already, and we've got the phase detect on the S5 Mark II. I'm not sure that this is actually going to be what this is going to be sensor size. I tend to think that if they're putting development into a new sensor with phase detect, I think it's going to be a 24.5 megapixel sensor, the same as in the GH6, but with phase detect. It will not be a stacked sensor. I'm going to put my neck on the block and say it won't be a stacked sensor, but I think it will be a more conventional sensor, but about 24 megapixel-ish, same as in the GH6, but with phase detect. What do you think? What else is going to be on it as well? I think it's going to be really interesting to see what else is on it. Just bear with me. It's quite enjoyable, this. Do you get orange juice every time you get up early in the morning? Might be worth getting up early in the mornings. Yeah, what else do you think is going to be on it yourselves? I'm really waiting with somewhat bated breath. I won't be buying one straight away. I may never buy one at all. But I think from the Micro Four Thirds community point of view, I think this is needed. The last new Micro Four Thirds release of a mainline camera from one of the big two was the OM5, and that's what, last year? It's getting on almost for a year since we've had a good Micro Four Thirds launch. So I think that this will be a significant thing on the Micro Four Thirds market, and if it is 24 megapixel with a phase detect on a still prioritized camera, and I've got to be careful how I say that, not just because I've got two teeth missing, but a still prioritized camera. In other words, I think all the Lumix cameras are really hybrid cameras now, but the straight G series has been the dominant factor in stills photography, with the GH being the predominant video platform. So I think from the stills priority side, with really good hybrid shooting, I think the G9 Mark II is going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be very, very important, not just for Lumix, but for the whole Micro Four Thirds market. Again, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be watching out on the internet on Tuesday to see what happens. I'm hoping that you'll be joining me and we can have a discussion as soon as we find it's launched to see what's happening on it. Would you be interested in the G9 Mark II? Is it something which is going to float your boat? Have you got your pre-order in for it? And if not, are you going to be putting a pre-order in before it's fully released? As I say, I won't be. I can't afford that, much as I'd love to. But I would have to see if it's going to have any worth for me as an individual. But I think, as I say, for the Micro Four Thirds market, I think it is. I think it could be the very thing which saves the Micro Four Thirds market, to tell you the truth. Because with having the OM1 come out a year and a half ago or so, and that was a significant camera, with having the GH6 as a significant video camera, admittedly sales on that may be on what we'd expect them to be, but it is more of a niche market, more of a specialist market. And having a new flagship stills camera from Lumix on the G9 Mark II, I think it's putting Micro Four Thirds into an incredibly strong forward-moving position, which was needed for a little while. However, thank you very much for watching this video. I don't know how often I'll be getting up out of bed to do this, but thanks very much to all these wonderful people here. When I say that, I look towards the little viewfinder on there because I've got to get my finger in the right place. So all these wonderful people who are my patrons of the channel. If you'd like to become a patron of the channel, there's a link below. There's 2 different levels as to what you can do, and come and join our little community. We've got a small but very, very supportive community. If you'd like to give a one-off payment, you can either use the super thanks button below, and also if you'd like to buy me a coffee, there's a PayPal link in the description below. To everybody who support the channel, thank you very much. It really is appreciated, and it helps hopefully get me this ability to get some sleep. Do I need to go back to bed? No. I'm up now. I'm going to stay up. Till the next time, keep taking your camera out. Keep having fun with your photos. Bye bye.